Yo, what is up guys? It's me Zach Lee and welcome back to the Zach Lee Show, where we talk about everything going on in the NBA on a daily basis. As always, you guys know that you are the real MVPs for coming back each and every single day. Can't thank you enough. But now let's just take a look at everything that is going on in the NBA. But first, a quick word about this video sponsor, athleticcases.com. Basketball, baseball, football, or even soccer, no matter what the sport, you can now rock your favorite player on the back of your phone. Use the promo code Zach Lee for 10% off your order. Link is in the description box below. Now with that out the way though, on to the video. Let's go. Up and down, that's precisely how it would describe the rookie year that Lonzo Ball has been having, especially when it comes to his shooting. You guys remember how Lonzo's shots seemed to have been falling a lot more around the All-Star break, and everyone thought the scoring woes that he was having at the beginning of the season were behind him? Well, as it turns out, that's not necessarily true. As over the Lakers' last 8 games, Lonzo has been having the worst shooting stretch of his career so far, only making 18% of his shots from distance compared to the 44% he was making in the Lakers 17 games before that, and even lower than the 24% he shot at the beginning of the season. So there's that, and there's also the fact that Lonzo Ball just made history for the wrong reason. As in the Lakers game against the Pelicans yesterday, Lonzo Ball joined Nick Van Exel as the only rookie in NBA history to ever miss 11 threes in a single game. He was 1 of 12 from deep last night, which of course isn't good. However, despite all of this, Isaiah Thomas, Lonzo Ball's teammate, says that Lonzo Ball should keep shooting and not lose faith in his shot. You keep taking them shots. If you get the opportunity, the only thing you can do is miss. The good thing about it, you can make it. And when Isaiah Thomas was asked about defenses not guarding Lonzo Ball from deep, purposely leaving him open, daring him to shoot the ball, he had this to say: "They're obviously doing it for a reason, and they think that's his weakness, and he's just got to continue to work. The next step is him getting that jump shot down, and once he's consistent with that, he's going to be a complete player, and he's going to be even harder to guard. The main thing about it is just having the confidence to shoot it, not shying away from the moment or the opportunity." I don't think Lonzo Ball should necessarily lose confidence in his shot. He did have that one nice stretch where he was shooting that 44% from 3, and I mean, it's like all players go through shooting slumps, even though I don't think we can necessarily call what Lonzo Ball's been going through a shooting slump. I think it's more of just him being a very inconsistent shooter. But I mean, here's the thing, it's not like the Los Angeles Lakers are fighting for a playoff spot anymore, so it doesn't really matter if they win or lose these games. Right now it's all about player development. If they win, that's fine. If they lose, hey, that's fine too, I guess. So why not let Lonzo Ball keep shooting and let him try and find a rhythm? At the same time though, just like Isaiah Thomas says, this is something that Lonzo Ball has to work on this offseason. This has to be his main focus. He needs to be out on the court every single day. Whether or not he needs to change his shooting form, that might be a thing that Lakers have to discuss. I know Luke Walton said earlier at the beginning of the season, both he and Magic Johnson said that if Lonzo Ball's shooting didn't get better, they'd have to have a talk with him about changing his shooting form, so maybe that happens. But the dude has to become a consistent threat from the perimeter if he's going to continue to shoot the ball. For a rookie that does everything else extremely well, we can kind of forgive him, overlook the fact that he hasn't been the best shooter. But if he comes back next year with that same jacked up form, still taking a lot of threes and breaking 99% of them, then it's gonna be a little less forgiving and just more concerning. Well, the Memphis Grizzlies lost by 61 points to the Charlotte Hornets yesterday, a game in which Kemba Walker scored 46 points in only 28 minutes, had 35 by halftime, and I think he could have become the 4th player in NBA history to score at least 50 points in under 30 minutes had he been out on the court for another minute. Let me just keep it 100% real here. He could have easily gotten 4 more points last night if he wanted to. So this was a great feel-good win for the Hornets and their fans, I guess. But we gotta talk about Memphis here for a second, because we got reports that Memphis Grizzlies players were laughing and making jokes in the locker room after losing by 61 points, which is the 6th worst loss in NBA history. And this news broke from a Memphis Grizzlies reporter who was in the locker room. It was disgusted and tweeted out this tweet after being in the locker room. Frankly, the amount of laughter and lack of hurt displayed by several Grizzlies players in the locker room was just as embarrassing as the loss. And Tyreek Evans, who played for the Grizzlies in that embarrassing loss, was not happy about this loss at all, as he said this after the game: "They were just out there laughing. It was embarrassing, the whole thing." So he was embarrassed because Hornets players were laughing at the Grizzlies during the game. But I can't be mad at Hornets players. I will be laughing too. I was laughing when I looked at the score last night in the third quarter and saw the Grizzlies were up by like 50 to 60 points. So I can't blame the Hornets players for laughing, but the fact that there were players in the Grizzlies locker room laughing baffles me. How do you laugh about being on the wrong end of one of the worst losses in NBA history? Yes, it is better for the Grizzlies in the long run if they tank, if they lose games, since it'll get them closer to getting one of the top picks in the NBA draft. If they get to keep their pick after this, Adam Silver needs to go in there and bust them up for tanking. But here's the thing, for a bunch of those players on the Grizzlies, they're nobodies. They should be out there trying to prove themselves in the NBA, prove that they belong, prove that they can be a quality player on a quality team. Except for a couple of guys on the Memphis Grizzlies roster. Like I said, all of the other guys are nobodies who have done nothing. Bryce Johnson, why are you in the locker room laughing? Briante Weber, why are you in the locker room laughing? Kobe Simmons, who are you and why are you in the locker room laughing? No one knows who any of you guys are, and no team in the NBA is going to want to sign some nobody who has done nothing. And when your team was down by 61, when you lost by 61, one of the worst losses in NBA history, you went to the locker room, made jokes, and laughed about it. As a professional, as a competitor, you should have been heated. You should have been ready to throw them hands with Charlotte Hornets players for beating you that badly. Matter of fact, it should have never got to that point in the first place. Some kind of drive, some kind of kick, some type of pride should not have allowed you to lose by 61 points. And it's not even like you lost by 60 to the Warriors or the Rockets or one of the elite teams in the NBA. You lost by 61 points to the Charlotte Hornets. No offense to any Hornets fans out there, but y'all know that you should not be beating teams by 61 points. Look, Mike Conley, get out of Memphis. Marc Gasol, get out of Memphis. Kyrie Irving, well, you're out of Memphis after this year, so congratulations to you. Chandler Parsons, never mind, you can stay where you at. Moving on though, we got another update on Kyrie Irving, and this could be good, this could be bad, we don't know yet. All we do know is that the Boston Celtics just announced that he is set to undergo a minimally invasive procedure to alleviate irritation in his left knee, and that is all the information they were willing to give us right now. No information on exactly what the surgery is, no information on how long he'll be out, how serious, nothing else. They said they'll give more updates after the surgery is completed. So like I said, this could be good, meaning that his knee will get better, he won't feel any pain, or this could be bad, meaning that it's gonna keep him out for an extended period of time. We'll just have to wait and see. That actually wraps up all the news from yesterday though. Now let's take a quick look at the games from last night. No Chris Paul for Houston, and James Harden was struggling with his shot big time, and yet the Rockets were still able to get the 100-96 overtime win over Detroit. And even though he was struggling with his shot 4 of 20 from the field, I mean, it's James Harden. Dude went to the free throw line 8 time. Almost shot as many free throws as my Pistons by himself, and he finished with 21 points while Eric Gordon had 22. Meanwhile, Blake had his first triple double as a Piston with 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. The Pelicans were playing their 5th game in 6 nights. I wouldn't have blamed them if they just fell asleep on the court in the middle of the game, yet they didn't even use fatigue as an excuse, as they still beat the Lakers 128-125. And even though they didn't let the fatigue stop them, Anthony Davis did acknowledge that it was not easy to play through. We just tried to fight through the fatigue physically and mentally and just try to pull this one out. It was hard. I was feeling this one for sure. I just wanted to keep pushing. Davis pushed himself to a 33-point and 9-rebound performance, while Jrue Holiday and Rajon Rondo both stepped up and played well too. Holiday scoring 26 and Rondo with 24 points and 10 assists. Meanwhile, KCP was on fire for LA, hitting 8 of his 11 triple attempts to score 28. And Philly wins again. They have the easiest schedule in the NBA from here on out, so that 4th seed should be as good as theirs. 5 wins in a row now after the blowout 118-98 win over the Orlando Magic. Joel Embiid only had to play 20 minutes in this one and still put up 17 points and 9 rebounds. I really hope the Utah Jazz make the playoffs. They deserve to, and I'm pretty sure they will. After losing the last game to the Hawks due to Dennis Schroeder going off, the Jazz bounced back to beat the Mavericks 119-112. Donovan Mitchell led the way for Utah with 26. Speaking of the Hawks though, they had a fierce showdown with the Sacramento Kings last night in the battle for who gets the higher pick in the NBA draft. And it was clear that Atlanta wants the higher pick much more than Sacramento does, as they lose to the Kings 105-90. The rookie Justin Jackson with 20 on the night. That wraps up all the action from last night though. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more daily NBA news. And it's Friday, meaning another game of my app SportsQ is going live tonight. This will be the 3rd live game. It's a really cool app, and if you haven't checked it out already, then you should. Like, it's actually legit legit. Like I've said a couple of times now, it's a live NBA trivia game that I host. It's a video similar to this, except where I ask you guys a bunch of questions. You know, questions about current event things going on in the NBA. If you get all the questions right, then you win some cash. It's really cool. Look, I'll have the link down in the description box below so you guys can go check it out. Other than that though, remember to vote for the player of the day, but also remember the only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday that player was Dwight Howard and his 32 points and 30 rebounds. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see all of you right back here tomorrow, but until then, I am out of here. Peace!